The rest of the story: Frances was on her knees now, praying on her knees in front of the kitchen stove. "I don't know, Lord, what else to do for my son," she whispered. "The doctors don't seem to know either. It is a miracle he needs. So I am asking you, sir, make one for him." The son in need of a miracle was Walter, age 15, hard-working dishwasher, and sometimes a busboy at a local restaurant. His problem had started insidiously enough as an infected hangnail, but the infection had spread, and pretty soon Walter was asking, "Ma, you think I have to see the doctor?" Frances took a look at the red, swollen finger, and promptly declared that indeed he did. By the time Walter could get an appointment, however, the infection had spread even further. The family practitioner, obviously concerned, consulted a colleague. They consulted a surgeon. The finger was gangrenous. All agreed, and so advanced was this condition that the only solution was amputation. Frances was horror-struck. Surely the doctors had made a mistake, she protested. It was just an infection after all. Didn't they have some medicine to fix it? But the surgeon assured Frances that the gangrene had progressed to such an extent that they'd be lucky to save her son's arm. The sooner the operation was performed, the better. Frances said she understood, and then she thanked the doctors and took Walter home. Later she asked Walter, "Do you trust me?" He said yes. She said, "Do you believe that God can heal you?" Her son said, "Of course I do." So quietly, almost solemnly, Frances put the clothing boiler on the gas range, filled it with fresh water, and struck a match to ignite the burner. Then she sank to her knees, right there on the kitchen floor, and you know the prayer. She prayed for a miracle for Walter. She had just said Amen, as the water came to a rolling boil. Frances beckoned the boy, took his arm, and plunged it into the boiling water, all the way up to the shoulder. Walter screamed. "It'll be all right," Frances said as calmly as she could. She then withdrew her son's arm from the clothing boiler, applied a poultice of milk and white laundry soap, and wrapped the arm in wax paper. "Your grandmother once told me about this," she said. "It's something they used to do in the old days." Frances reapplied the poultices every half hour for the next 4 days and 4 nights. On the 5th day, what do you know? Discharge began seeping from Walter's infected hand. Weeks would pass before the teenager could return to his restaurant job, but the infection was gone, and his hand was completely well. Well enough subsequently to win a scholarship to the Wisconsin College of Music, for there had been even more at stake, more incentive than you might have imagined, for Walter to keep all of his fingers. Now whenever you remember the delight he brought to millions, you will recall also a mother kneeling before the blue flame of a gas range, praying that her son might go on to fulfill his destiny. Of course you know Walter. You know him by his last name alone, Liberace. Only now you know the rest of the story.